Hello, we are here.
Yeah, Richie, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Can't hear anything. I'm not hearing no.
Hey guys, Millie from Kenya.
Hey, Millie, how are you? Hello, everyone.
Good evening, Miss Ida.
Hi.
Yay! I'm happy. I'm happy more people are here today. Post it on a status that is happening, so that more people will join.
Hello.
It's like
Hi.
all right. I'm happy to see all of you here. It means that we are all ready for the business, right? We all want to write an award-winning motivational letter. And today we are going to be joined by an SI scholarship recipient. He's here. We are going to introduce him very soon. So we have a YouTube channel that is also running this live. So if you don't mind, you have to go there and give a like and comment whilst the video is going on, because it also helps with the YouTube algorithm to make my videos known. And if you are here and you have not subscribed to, you are not fit to be here. Yeah. So we are going to start now. So pay attention very well. This video is going to be shorter than before. It's 30 minutes, so we are going to be very short and concise. If you have any question whilst the PowerPoint is going on or the presentation is going on, write your question in the chat. We want to make it very concise so that we do not interrupt. I hope you get me. So try and mute yourself whilst the video is going on so that there's no interruptions, and write in the chat if you have any questions. So we address it after the video, after the presentation. Is that okay? So we're going to introduce you to our SI, Swedish Institute Scholarship recipient, and he's going to give us all the tips that we need to also get this scholarship and also get the university-specific scholarship. So without further ado, let's welcome Joseph. Magic.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Good evening, Mr. Joe.
If you can hear me, please notify in the chat if you can hear me, so I know.
Should we share?
Can you hear me? Hello, can anyone hear me?
Hello, I can hear you. This is Paul from Nigeria, Abuja,
Okay.
Nigeria. Good evening.
All right, that's nice. So
We can hear you. I can hear you.
yeah, good to know you can hear me. So we would be moving a little bit faster today. We have just 30 minutes.
Mm.
Yeah, so we would be going quite fast. So we get in our PowerPoint slide set, and then yeah, we move. All right. Nice. So can you see the PowerPoint slide we have here? Good. Now I can't see the now I can't see the chat. So at least okay, maybe one person can one person can just unmute and then let me know if you can see the PowerPoint slide, and then we just move in straight away.
We can see it.
Great, nice.
Tomorrow
Yes,
from
we
here.
can see it. I can
All right.
see it.
Great. So
Yeah.
today we are handling how to write an award-winning motivational letter, and we are blending motivational letters for school applications and scholarship applications all together. So there is a 30-minute presentation. I hope I can go as fast as possible so you can ask questions. And if you have questions, you could put it in the chat so that after the meeting, I would address them. And yeah, so let's move in. So motivational letters are also, as you already know, are also known as statement of purposes or letter of intent or statement of intent and things like that. So they mostly mean the same thing. And how many types of motivational letters do we have? All right. So we have two types of motivational letters. We have generic letters, and then we have specific letters. So depending on the program or school you are applying for, there could be a generic motivational letter that you're supposed to write, or it could be specific. But what are the differences of these two motivational letters? So first of all, let's look at the generic motivational letters, right? Now, when a school or a scholarship institution does not provide specific questions for you to answer, or they do not provide a template for you to fill, then you are writing a generic motivational letter, right? So now, even though it is a generic motivational letter, you should pay attention to word count and page count or character count and things like that, because they do not restrict you sometimes, but sometimes it is nicer to write a 1 page or 1.5 page maximum for motivational letters if you are not asked. And you should check on the program website to be sure if they are asking you to write a 1 page or 500 words or 2,000 characters. You should be sure, because writing beyond the word count could affect your success in the application. So a typical example of a generic motivational letter would be a program that asks you to write a 1-page motivational letter discussing why you are fit for this program, right? So even though they are asking you to write a letter that talks about why you are fit for the program or why you are fit for the scholarship, it's a generic motivational letter because you are not restricted regarding the content or what you are supposed to provide. Now, so with generic motivational letters, there are no general rules about how you're supposed to go about it. Please mute yourself. If you're not muted, please check if you're muted. Thank you. So with generic motivational letters, there are no rules, but sometimes it is nicer to not go, as I said, not to go beyond 1 page or 1.5 pages. And for me, I would ideally go for just 5 paragraphs if I'm writing a generic motivational letter. So let's look at how to write a very good generic motivational letter. And there are no rules to this. Like this is not final. And you could write it as you want. You could write it as you want. But this is how I would write a generic motivational letter if I wasn't given any specific questions to answer, right? And then this mostly applies to school applications, right? Or the program that you're applying for or something like that. So let's start from there. Now, in my first paragraph, if I was writing a generic motivational letter, I would talk about my social or academic or professional background that has shaped my decision to pursue this program. So now, when it comes to social background, you should be careful about how far you take the story. So, like for me, I wouldn't go too fast. When I was a child, we didn't have food to eat, and I was wondering about how poor we are, and I decided to eradicate the poverty in my family when I grew up. That's a long story. I wouldn't want to go like that. I might probably just start off as discuss maybe the challenges I faced whilst growing up, and talk about how it instilled some sort of perseverance in me to seek solutions to these social problems and poverty eradication and things like that. So be careful how far you go deep into the story. Don't make your story boring. Don't talk about all your family problems before you really zoom into the motivational letter. And it could also be nice to start from an academic point of view, where you talk about how your bachelor's program made you more curious about pursuing master's studies and why you've chosen that particular master's program. Or you could approach it from a professional background, talking about the work you do and how you want to pursue this master's program and enhance upon the work that you are doing. So that's how I will go about my paragraph 1. And in my paragraph 2, I will talk about what I have done with my bachelor's degree. So you have a bachelor's degree in a similar field. What have you done with it, right? So if for me, I pursued a master's program in political science. So I wrote about how I have applied my bachelor's program in political science to working in Ghana since I completed, right? It gives a sense of purpose. It also shows, it validates your story, right? It talks about how you would apply the master's program. So if you completed your bachelor's 3 years ago, you got a bachelor's degree, and you didn't do anything with the bachelor's degree, you were just at home, what shows that if we allow you to do a master's, you are going to do anything. And also for you who are still in school, let's say you've not received your transcript or certificate yet, or there's no gap between your bachelor's and your master's, you could talk about extracurricular activities that you've engaged in, or clubs or civil society organizations or community service that you've engaged in with what you've learned about your program so far. But, show some sense of purpose regarding how you've used your bachelor's degree to contribute to development, because it tells us, or it gives an indication of how you are going to use your master's degree if you get it. And so, okay, so my paragraph 3, mostly I'll talk about how I'm going to why are you applying for this program, right? What about the university, the faculty, the course, the structure, course content interests you, and how does it contribute to your academic and professional goals? So if I'm writing a motivational letter, I'll mostly want to talk about what interests me about the program. When I was applying for a master's program in political science, I talked about the course structure, right? how the course structure, it's more research oriented. And I'm passionate about research. So I want to do that course because I want to acquire research skills. And I talked about how that course structure fits into my academic goal and how it fits into my professional goals. I want to come back to Ghana and contribute to development by conducting research, on poverty eradication and zero hunger. And that is why I've chosen this program. So why are you applying for this program? What about the program interests you, and how does it fit into your academic and or professional goals? And in my paragraph 4, I'll talk about what I am bringing on board. So don't only talk about what you stand to gain from the program that you're applying for. Also talk about what you are bringing on board, because if they want 20 people and 100 people applying for the program, everyone is saying, I want to get this from the program, then why should we bring you? Because we don't want to bring someone who is not brilliant. We don't want to admit someone or give a scholarship to someone who is not motivated and all those kind of things. So talk about what personal qualities and hard skills that you are bringing on board. For me, I would say I'm bringing on board a strong theoretical knowledge of political science. I'm bringing on board professional experience acquired from working in a West African background. I'm bringing on board first-hand experience of solving developmental challenges. And I'm going to share this with my other course mates from other parts of the world. They say, okay, so we are not only giving to you, but we're also going to enrich the program, right? Talk about that. And in my paragraph 5, I'll talk about what I am going to do after I acquire this master's degree, or if you give me the scholarship, this is what I'm going to do after I complete the program. Talk about your future plans, right? Don't make it too generic. Don't make it too abstract. Make it quite concrete that you seek to do A, B, and C when you are done with school. If possible, give some timelines, give some timelines. And so that I don't make it generic, after completing my studies, I'll come back to Nigeria and contribute to the development of Nigeria. It's too abstract, it's too vague, right? Make it more concrete, make it more solid. So let's move in quickly to specific motivational letters, right? So how are specific motivational letters like? So for specific motivational letters, either they provide you questions for you to answer and submit, or they give you a template that look on our website, look below, there's a template you are supposed to use to answer the motivational letter. If you don't use a template, you're out of the race, right? So you should check that. And in most of the specific motivational letters, you are given a word or character count. So under every question, they tell you we want 1,500 characters, including spacing. It means that if you click your space bar, it is 1, right? So including spacing means everything counts, and it's very easy to check that with Microsoft Word. If you go to review and you go to word count, your characters, including spacing and everything, is there. So be careful that if you're answering a specific motivational letter, you don't go beyond the word or character count, because they will know and they will take you out. And for specific motivational letters, you are asked to answer a question in, they give you 4 questions. Sometimes they give you 1,500 characters. You have to go straight to the point, because the moment you want to start talking about how when you were young, instead of eating 3 times a day, you were only eating once, there was no money at home and all those things, you've exhausted all the 1,500 characters and you can't type anything, right? So be careful about that, and be careful about duplication, repeating the same answer in another question. And this usually happens in specific motivational letters. So let's look at an example of this duplication problem. So let's take these 2 examples, these 2 questions these 2 questions were asked in one of the motivational letters for one master's program in University of Gothenburg, right? And so question 1 would be like, how has your academic and professional background, how has your academic and professional background shaped your decision to apply to this program? And question 2 would be like, in what ways can this master program help you reach your educational and professional goals? So you can see that in both questions, there is academic, and there's one professional and professional. So if you don't take care, you end up including answers from the first question to the second question, which is wrong because you don't want them to read the same thing twice. You want to provide something you've not said already. So in question 1, I'll talk about my background, my academic and professional background, and then I'll talk about my academic and professional goals, and I will say, that is why I'm applying to this program. But if I was asked another question, as in what ways can this master's program help you reach your educational and professional goals, then I'll just start off by talking about what my goal is without not going too deep, because I've already answered too deep in question 1 what my goals are. Then I talk about what about the program is really going to help my academic goals, right? So A and B about your program is going to give me the skills and knowledge, and this is how it's going to help me reach my academic goals. Try your possible best not to duplicate the answers regarding your academic and professional goals in the second one, because you don't want them to read the same thing twice. And why would you want to use the space to say something you've already said when you can say something new? All right. So let's look at things that you should be careful of, some do's and don'ts, things that you shouldn't do. Oh, time is fast spent. Okay. All right. So for generic motivational letters, you should check the page or word count. All right. Don't go beyond that. Mostly generic motivational letters would say 1 page or 1.5 pages, but try to check it. All right. Try to check it, because it's very, very important not to go beyond the word count. And for specific motivational letters, it's mostly word count or character count. So be careful. If they say maximum 1,500 characters, including blank spaces, it means anything counts. Even if you press the space bar, it counts, and you should be careful not to go too much, not to go beyond that. All right. And do not provide irrelevant information. Do not provide irrelevant information. Whether you are giving a generic, whether asked to write a generic motivational letter or scholarship letter or a specific, do not give unnecessary information. So an example of unnecessary information is, I know that Europe is better than Africa when it comes to development. So I want to stay in Europe and get better opportunities. So what? Like, this one too, it's the truth. We all know that, right? So, but don't put it that way. Don't say things like that. Don't give irrelevant information. So for me, I would check every sentence to make sure that this sentence makes sense. Is this sentence relevant? Should it be there, right? And too much grammatical errors is also something you should check, all right? Because it speaks to the fact that you are not attentive to detail, and it doesn't help you. So I had an internship at the Department of Political Science at the University of Gothenburg, and I got to know that these professors do not pay too much attention to the fact that your English is not so perfect, or your English is not so solid. But you should not be making mistakes, because then the person reading your script cannot get anything out of it, right? And also, you should not be, if you're asked to write like a generic motivational letter, it's not necessary to design the page, put in fancy, header and footer and those things. If you have a nice cover letter and things like that, it's fine, but don't go too fancy. Don't use fancy font styles. I'll choose Times New Roman or Calibri, and I would want to space 1.15 or 1.5, but sometimes the school talks about spacing also. So you should also check with the school to make sure that the spacing is provided or not. Okay, so how does an award-winning motivational letter look? And I think this is the most important part of the presentation. How does an award-winning motivational letter look? Okay, so I wouldn't say these are the only things, but these are some of the things that contributes to an award-winning motivational letter. And you should really pay attention to this, all right? So I think that an award-winning motivational letter is purposeful. So the letter demonstrates your fit for the program, or it demonstrates that you meet the scholarship's aim and objectives. So let's take a master's program, for example. You're applying for a master's program in computer science, and they said they want someone who has a bachelor's in computer science and 2 years of work experience. At the end of reading your motivational letter, did we get the idea that this candidate has a bachelor's degree and 2 years of work experience? Or we didn't? If it doesn't speak to this, then your statement is not purposeful, right? You're applying for a scholarship, and they said this scholarship is for needy students. In your motivational letter, did you demonstrate that you are needy? If not, then it is not purposeful. If you're applying for, let's say, the Swedish Institute scholarship for global professionals, and they said they want people who have 3 years of work experience and are passionate about sustainable development. When we read your script, do we see someone who is passionate about sustainable development? If not, then it is not purposeful. It's as simple as that, right? So a purposeful motivational letter would win you a scholarship, So also, you should look at the word count or the sentence count, all right? So for me, I would say that if you write a script, go through every word, every sentence, and make sure that it is relevant, right? Just ask yourself, if I take this sentence out of this essay, does it change the story? If it doesn't, then delete it because it is not supposed to be there. Any word or any sentence that you take out of your motivational letter and it doesn't make any difference, it means that either it's irrelevant or it's indifferent. Just take it out because it's not supposed to be there. And clarity, all right? Clarity. So don't let someone read your motivational letter and the person be like, wait, now what is this guy saying? Me, I'm lost. Like, I don't get it though. He said this and now he said, I don't get it. So don't let anyone read your motivational letter and feel like, I don't know why this guy is talking about. You're out, all right? As simple as that. All right. And coherence is very, very important. It's very, very important. So sentences and paragraphs should follow structure. It should add to your story progressively, and it should all sum up. It should all complement each other. So your paragraph 1 should flow into your paragraph 2. Paragraph 2 flow into paragraph 3. Every sentence flowing into the second sentence, like that. There should be coherence. You're not writing a storybook, so don't put your reader or the scholarship institution or the school in suspense, thinking that you're going to put something at the end and it'll be like, okay. If you do that, you're out, right? Because no one has time for suspense. Don't create any plot twist. Make sure that you're providing every information when you're supposed to provide it. If you start talking about this, make sure that you end it and let it follow in that structure. It would help you. It would really, really help you. And Conciseness is also very, very, very important. Conciseness is very, very important. So your motivational letter should go straight to the point. Your motivational letter should go straight to the point. Especially when it's about specific types of motivational letters, it should go straight to the point. So for those who would be, now this is a hint I'm giving to those who will be applying for the Swedish Institute Scholarship for Global Professionals. This question is coming. It is a past question and it is coming. All right. So you will see it somewhere. So the question is, describe how you can apply the knowledge and experience gained from your time in Sweden in your organization or company and or in your home country or region upon your return from Sweden, right? This question is coming. So go and answer it. If you're going to apply for the scholarship, you can start answering this question. Now, and they said maximum 1,000 characters, including spaces. All right, including spaces. So you have to go straight to the point. You have to go straight to the point. You talk about what knowledge you're going to acquire from the master's program you're applying, and how you are going to, when you come back home, how you are going to use the knowledge to contribute to development, something concrete. You don't say it vague. Then don't only, and I'm giving you tips, right? tips for that question because it's coming. Now, don't only talk about the program. If you're in Sweden, you're also going to probably see how the organizations in Sweden, how they operate. Definitely, they operate better than organizations. Maybe they operate better than organizations in your country. So you could even talk about the fact that you're going to do an internship in some of these Swedish organizations and apply it to your home country. So don't only talk about the program, talk about this as well, but go straight to the point. Because you only have 1,000 characters, 1,000 characters including spaces is like 5 or 6 sentences, or at most 7. You don't have time to talk about the fact that when you arrive in Sweden, you go here, you go, no, like go straight to the point, right? Now, one trick that can really help you regarding how to write a concise motivational letter is to be using phrases like I can instead of I would be able to, right? So if you are given a question and they ask you 1,000 characters including spaces, and then you start by I would be able to apply the knowledge acquired from my program to this and that. And someone says, I can apply, but the person who said I can has only used 5 characters. You said I would be able to, you've used like 15 characters. So by the time, if you type like this, you won't write anything and then you're out of space, right? But check your phrases, check your verbs, check your phrasal verbs, like very important. These are phrasal verbs. Passive, use active language, is more active language instead of passive language. These will help you write concisely and you put all the things you want to put there, but you won't take much space. And there is also an opportunity for you to demonstrate good academic writing skills. You want to do masters, you want to do masters. So like, you shouldn't be frustrating the reader. You shouldn't be writing in such a way that it's very, very difficult for whoever is reading your paper to follow, So at least show that you're a good student. All right. And as much as possible, get proofreading help, because we are all blind to our own work. We are all blind to our own work. Recently, I wrote some application letter. I sent it to someone to proofread for me. And, the person pointed out a lot of things that I didn't know. The same CV that I have been using all this while, I sent it to someone. The person said a lot about my CV. And I was like, wow, is this the CV I've been using all this while? So we are all blind to our own work. Always get someone to look at your document for you before you submit it. And this is very, very important. I know that this is one of the things that does not contribute to an award-winning motivational letter. Now, contradiction in your CV and other documents. So in your CV, you said you've done 2 jobs. What was one job you did 2 years of work experience, another job you did 1 year of work experience. And in your motivational letter, you say, I have over 5 years of work experience in this, and like, right? Contradicts, and then you've forgotten that in your CV, you spoke about only 3 years work experience. So for me, if I write my CV first, anything I write, I will cross-check it against my CV. If I write my motivational letters first, I will make sure that every story in the motivational letters are validated in the CVs, because it affects a lot of people. People don't know why they don't get schools or they don't get scholarships. It's because the CV you submitted, you said something in the CV that you contradicted yourself without knowing, Not that you are lying, but you just didn't say it in the CV. And then you're now saying it here, and it's like, which is which? And it looks like, it makes you look like a liar, but maybe you're not a liar, right? So check that. And an award-winning motivational letter tells a good story. After the story, the reader can be like, oh, this guy, this girl, let's give her the scholarship. Right? Or it could give goosebumps. Or it could say, let's bring him in. Let's give it to this person, All right, tell a good story. Let your story sell. Let your story sell. And if you don't know how to let your story sell, just follow everything I've said, and I think your story would sell. All right. And yeah, so get help, all right? Like, we are all blind to our own work. Your friends or acquaintances or family with higher educational or professional experience can help you proofread your documents. They can help you proofread your documents. So try and get help. Don't do everything by yourself and just submit it. All right. It might not help. And also, now help can be misleading. Help can be misleading. Like if you send your motivational letter to your uncle, for instance, to proofread for you, your uncle already assumes that you've done, like, you've read about the program and everything. So he's just checking the grammar and everything. He says, thumbs up, you've done a good job. But only you read about the scholarship or the program. So only you know what they asked for. Your uncle will not know. So he will probably just check the grammar and everything, and he said thumbs up. But it doesn't mean that you're going to get it, because no one has the time to go and read in detail the program website or the scholarship website for you. The person will just advise you based on the document you've given them. And you might think that they said it's okay, but it is not, because they don't know that you missed something. All right. And also, you could use Excel Parts premium check service. So we have a premium check service that we would be enrolling in the next coming days. As you could have your motivational letters or your documents checked for you. Now, there's going to be more details on the Telegram page, and Ida is going to speak more about it, about how to access the Excel Parts premium check service. But we do not need you to bring your motivational letters to us to proofread for you. We want you to first check with your friends, acquaintances, and families if there's anyone who could help you. And if you want us to help you, if you want us to contribute to your journey, if you want us to guide you, you could use Excel Part Premium Check Service. But Excel Part Premium Check Service is, as the name goes, it's a check service. So it is not about we writing for you. It's about we making sure that you've written what you should write, right? So we could be doing that. And also, please contact me through Excel Part. All right. I appreciate friends and everything, but I would not be able to provide any assistance outside our premium check service, outside Excel Pass premium check service. So I wouldn't be able to, if you contact me privately that I should help you, I wish I could, but I am not able to do that because of time constraints. But we have a time allocated to Excel Path, and then we could use that to help you. All right. We could use that to help you. So yeah, you can do this. You can do this. You can make it happen. So start as soon as possible, and why not? You can do it. All right. Thank you very much. And yeah, if Ida allows for some questions, we could take some 2 or 3 questions. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's stop sharing. Yeah. How do you guys feel? Have you learned a lot? Oh, there are many questions or not. Oh, can't hear anything. Like people couldn't hear.
Hello.
Okay, there's no question. It means that it's
There's a
very
question
clear.
here. There's a question
Hello.
here. We could yes, there's a moment. We could take this question first, all right? And then we will look at I would allow for two more questions, and then we could close the meeting. All right. So one question is, when writing a motivational letter, should one include his or her hobbies under extracurricular activities? For me, if I'm writing a motivational letter, I usually, like, let's say if it was a generic, I want to do 1 page, and I have a lot of things to talk about that I don't talk about my hobby. I don't talk about my hobby. But if I have an extracurricular activity that contributes to community service, volunteerism, sustainable development, like I am part of, let's say, the Red Cross, and then we go to communities that have been affected by floods, drought, and those things, then it should be there. It is good. But if you do hobbies like maybe you play musical instrument and those things, I don't think it should be there. All right. Should a motivational letter be on a design template? If it's,
We've already talked about
yes,
it,
that you could have your own small header and footer, but don't be designing things like that, because it's only the content they're looking for. They are not looking at design. Okay, so we could allow for 2 more questions.
Yeah.
2 more questions, and I think that there's a hand. Please raise up your hand, and then I'll check it up and call you. There is Olua Makin. I don't know if I mentioned your name well, but we could take your question. Olua Makin. I see a raised hand. So you could unmute
Can I
yourself.
go on with my question?
Mhm.
Can I go on with my question?
Yes.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Can I go on with my question?
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to ask, the recorded version of this presentation, how can we get them?
Can you come again?
Recorded version.
The recorded
It should be
version.
on the YouTube channel.
Yes, it's going to
The
be
recorded
on
version.
Africa.
Are you all subscribers of the YouTube channel?
Not yet. I'm not. Your YouTube channel, I'm not.
Yeah, so you could
I can just put it here for them.
okay. Okay, so we're going to
This question.
we're going to copy it in. We're going to copy a link in the chat that sends you straight to the YouTube channel, and yeah, you will have the recorded version there.
All right. Another question I want to ask. Can I go ahead?
Yes. Yes.
All right. The question, the motivation for the motivation letter, the question is going to come up at a particular period of time, right? And is there a specific period of time for you to answer that?
Is it a hint I gave? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I mean the question. We are speculating. We're not too sure of the exact question that's going to come up. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes,
yeah,
there's a particular question that is going to come up. Is it going to, because I've never experienced it before, but is it going to be a time frame that when that question comes up and you have to write like being online, you write your letter, your motivation letter, and you submit immediately, or they will give you like days.
Oh, I think
after the questions have been asked.
I think regarding can you please mute yourself if you're not asking a question? Can you please mute yourself if you're not asking a question? Thank you. So concerning the motivational letter for the SI scholarship, we are going to concerning the motivation letter for the concerning the motivational letter for the SI scholarship, you are going to be giving I think they have 10 days for that scholarship, right? So when you are filling the forms for the scholarship, you're going to be asked that question whilst you are doing the application, and then you have 10 days to submit that application. So you could save and come back at any time to do that.
Yeah.
So there's always a scholarship application period. Yeah. It's never a day or two. There's always a period. Yes. Do we have anyone else who wants to ask a question? Just one more question, and then we are done with the call.
Scapi.
Okay.
Scapi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Scapi Benzi.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for the time, and that was such a nice presentation. I would like to ask, is there a specific way, or is there a template to prepare a CV for any of the applications? That is my first question. So I just wanted to answer. So afterwards, I'll ask my next question.
Can you put all the questions together? I'll take them together.
Okay, and my next question is, I want to apply to read my master's in educational research, and they provided a template, I think in 4 folds, on how to write my statement of intent, and each of the folds needs 3,000 words. 3,000 words. So we'll be grateful if you could share a fair thought on how to go about it for me. Thank you.
Okay. So regarding your first question, just as we have already discussed, when sometimes you are asked, as we have generic motivation letters, we have specific motivation letters. We also have generic CVs and specific CVs. So mostly it is a generic CV where you have your own CV and then you are uploading it to the application system. But sometimes there is this school. So let's take the Swedish application, for instance. You could apply for 4 schools. 3 of the schools tell you upload a CV. So you upload a generic CV. But there's this one school that tells you, I have a CV template below. Use it to give me a CV. So then you're supposed to upload 2 CVs. That's your generic CV that you're giving to the 3 other schools. And then that particular program that you are applying for, that request for a specific CV, then you are supposed to give them their specific CV. So you download their template and then you give them what they ask for. What they don't ask for, they don't need it. And then you do that. So you have to make sure that you are satisfying all the schools that you are applying for. You do what they want for them. Regarding the second question, I think that it is the same as we've already discussed, right? And the same that we've already discussed
on the YouTube channel.
Yes. Always look at what is the purpose of we want to do it is a program, right? Masters in Education. So you need to make sure that first of all you know the purpose of the program and then the type of candidates that they are looking for. Whatever question that they are asking, you approach it concisely, you go straight to the point, and then you give them the information that you want. And go back and then take every sentence and ask yourself, does it answer the question? Is it supposed to be there? Is it concise and everything? All right. Sure.
Yeah, time out.
All right. So
Thank you very much.
yeah. We are
Thank you
out
very
of
much.
time. We will not be able to answer more questions here, but hopefully we will take it up later. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you very much, our resource person. And our time is fast spent. Please, let's take the rest of the questions to the Telegram group. Ask your questions there. And we have a premium service. If you want us to check your documents for you, we are going to proofread it, look through it, and then we can have a short 15-minute call with you and explain to you what you have done well and what you didn't do correctly. So I'll send
Could you
the
please
link.
give us the link to your Telegram page or group?
I think that you are very new, right? You are very new here. So some of the information, okay, let me just send that to you. Let me just post it here. And let's send the rest of the questions to the Telegram group. And I'll be happy if all of you can check the YouTube page. I have a lot of resources there. Most of you are aware, but people don't find it. Just because people don't like comments, so there's no engagement there. So in order for the videos to go to people and help them, I need all of you to try and go to the YouTube page. I've posted a link here. Subscribe if you haven't, and try and give a thumbs up to any video that has helped you and share it too. I'll be happy if you can do that for me at your spare time. So thank you very much. We will start rolling out the SI application processing help in the near maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So stay tuned for that, so that we will go through each of the documents. So I hope this meeting has also been helpful to all of you.
Please, I
Have a good night.
asked of your link to your Telegram page.
Yes, check the chats.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen it? It's in the chat. And the YouTube is also in the chat. So you can all check the chat now before I close it. Yeah. So thank you very much for being with us and making it. I'm very encouraged because today more people came. So I see that it's a very important topic for you. So we'll be bringing these topics that is going to help you in the near future as well. So goodbye, everyone, and have a great time. Good night.
All right. Thanks for
Let's
having
send
us.
the questions to the Telegram. Meet you on the Telegram group.